Welcome friends, LostScarf here, and it's time for the Overwatch Hero Guide 2! Tracer! That's right, it's time to talk about Overwatch's mascot. And she's a lot of fun to play, very high risk, high reward, she can do a lot of work, but she can be easily killed since she has the lowest HP in the game besides D.Va, of course, when she's out of her mech, 150 HP. So this, of course, can be geared towards beginners. We're going to talk about just who Tracer is, some fundamentals about her, mechanics about her, her abilities, how you do her in combat, mode duties with her, tips and tricks with her, and of course just wrap it all up in a conclusion. And since it is geared for beginners, there's going to be some things that advanced expert players probably know more about, and if you feel that it should have been mentioned, say so in the comments so that viewers have more to go over. The most important thing to learn from these guys is just how Tracer works so that you know how to play as her and against her, which will just make you a better player. So let's get going. Who is Tracer? Well, her real name is Lena Oxton, age 26. Tracer was a pilot for Overwatch. She was testing their new teleportation aircraft when it malfunctioned. She disappeared and was thought dead, but she started reappearing and disappearing months later. She was disassociated with time. Thankfully, Winston invented the chronal accelerator, which anchors Tracer to the present. She discovered that she can also use it to manipulate her own time, which allows her to speed up and slow down time at her will. Tracer is a flanker distraction assassin. Her abilities allow her to get around the enemy team and flank them. In the flank, she's attacking the healers, snipers, DPS in the backline, whatever she needs to attack, to either kill them or change their attention in her direction. A good Tracer can kill healers or distract 2 to 3 enemies at any given time. By distracting half the enemy team, it gives her team a number of advantages on the front line. Just consider that. If she's keeping out like 2 or 3 people out of the front line, that's half the team, that means your team can just roll over them. You have 5 people attacking the front, they can just roll over the front and then they can go ahead and do whatever needs to be done after that. Or if Tracer gets both healers down, no healing going on, so that's going to allow your front line to just break through easily as well. It's all about creating an opportunity for your team to just crush the front line by either killing healers and snipers and stuff like that, or just distracting them long enough that they're not actually helping out their team. That's what you're doing with Tracer. And then there's also that on capture match, you can just go to the objective and capture it to force the enemy team to turn around and deal with you. That's another thing you can do. Usually it won't just be one person, it'll be 2 or 3 people turning around to deal with you, which again leaves the front line a little bit lighter, which is going to help out your team. Then there's of course objective contesting. Tracer is one of the best contesters in the game when it comes to just keeping the game going longer. When it comes to overtime, the best Tracers can just keep it going for like 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, long enough for the rest of her team to come back to that objective, or just to help keep it stalled. She can do work. It is amazing. Now, typically, you're going to run into the enemy backline and attack them for kills or distraction, and if you're doing distraction, you're running around the map with the enemies behind you, picking up health packs, dashing to dodge shots, and just using recall to stay alive. That is something that can be very helpful. Tracer's abilities. First up's got to be her pulse pistols. These guns deal 1.5 damage to 6 damage per bullet depending on range. She shoots 2 at a time. Gun burst can deal up to 240 damage or 480 headshot bursts at close range. I'm talking about if you're right in the face of your opponent and you just shoot them in the face, that's how much you're going to do very quickly. It is amazing damage you can do, but usually you're about mid-range, so just think about half of that. And if you're shooting from far away, you're not going to do much, so just really, you're really getting close into people's faces when you're Tracer, which is what makes her so risky, because you can get killed out there. Her next ability is Blink. This is a short 7-meter dash in the direction you are moving. You hold up to 3 charges at a time, and each charge recharges over 3 seconds. Something to keep in mind that you'll do at first when you first play Tracer is, you think you can dash up into the sky, but you can't. You can only dash forward and backwards, but that doesn't mean you can't dash while jumping. You can jump and you'll just dash forward, which allows you to go over gaps. Next up is her ability, Recall. You go back to where you were 3 seconds ago, HP heals up to where it was at this point as well. So, what this means is you can get shot, and then you recall, you go back to where you were 3 seconds ago, and you'll have your HP back to where it was before. You're not going to have like 90 HP, pick up a health pack, recall, and you'll have 90 HP again. It doesn't work that way, luckily. It only works up, not down. And lastly is her ultimate, the Pulse Bomb. This is a bomb that Tracer throws that has a 1-second fuse on it. It's a sticky bomb, so it sticks to wherever it gets thrown onto, and it only flies a short distance. It deals 400 damage, and does less than the splash radius around it of 3 meters. Keep in mind is you can kill yourself with this bomb, so be careful of that. But it is a very hard to land bomb. You have to just practice throwing this bomb to get good at it, because you're going to end up just missing this throw a lot when you're first playing the game. So the more practice you put in for this bomb, the better, because this bomb can do work when you get good at it. Tracer in combat. Now Tracer is doing a lot of running and gunning during this. You're just running around, dashing, jumping, shooting a lot. You got to get really good at just learning how to aim while dodging at the same time. If you can get good at dodging really well, that's good. If you can get good at aiming really well, that's also good. If you get good at both at the same time, you'll be a great Tracer. That is for dang sure. Now there's 2 ideas on how Tracer works, and really I feel it's in the middle that works, but here's the extremes. The first one is, your goal is to be a distraction. Distract as many enemies as possible. Killing should be a bonus. You're just shooting at people while you're distracting, and maybe aiming for a specific person to kill while you're doing that. And that's usually, of course, going for maybe a healer with an ultimate, or just a healer in general. The other school of thought is killing high-value targets. Maybe you don't care about your life. It's all about killing first, then distraction after, and that would usually be healers or maybe a really good sniper, a DPS person on the enemy team. So you go out there, kill the person, maybe it's a one-way trip, you don't care about dying as long as you kill them, if they're that important. And then you worry about distraction if you didn't die, so that you run around dashing and shooting and healing and all the stuff you need to do to not get killed. But of course, the middle ground is probably the best place to go about it, and here's how I say it would be, and that is, you try to get around the enemy, and if they don't notice you, sneak up on the healers or whatever's important, and shoot them in the head really quick. You do 240 damage to the body, 480 to the head up close, so you can kill someone very quickly with Tracer. So do that, and then worry about distraction after that point. If the enemy knows you're back there, then just focus on distraction. Shoot the high-value targets while distracting, but just keep them distracted to help your team out. That's something I feel is what you should be doing. Now, there's one very important thing I want to talk about, and that is Tracer versus tanks. It's very risky for Tracer. 150 HP, she can get killed very quickly, but she does so much damage, and she can dodge very well, and tanks are just a great source of building up ultimate, and just killing tanks is very helpful to the team. So if you can catch a tank alone, you can destroy them. Now, I'm not saying to do this in a team fight. I'm saying to do this if you can catch them alone. Like, maybe they're trickling in from somewhere. Maybe you just caught them alone when they're coming out of spawn or something like that. It's a good time to take out a tank. Just get rid of them so that they have to wait even longer before they can enter the fight. So for fighting specific tanks, if you're fighting Zarya and D.Va, you're just shooting at them, and you're waiting for them to lose their defenses whenever they put them up, and then you're shooting up again. You can take them out pretty quickly. For Reinhardt, you're dashing behind him and shooting him in the back whenever he just takes a swing at you. That's all you're doing. If he's got the shield up, go behind him, shoot him. He turns around with the shield, or he swings at you. You go behind him again, shoot him some more. He does the same thing. You go behind him again, and you shoot him some more. That's all you do against Reinhardt. When it comes to Roadhog, it's all about dodging that hook and the shotgun. If he misses that hook, you can go in there and do some shots on him. You're not easy to hit with a shotgun. You might take some damage from him, but it is going to be hard for him to get the full shot on you as long as you're moving around enough. And you can waste him. And also what's important is, when he's healing, he does 300 for heal. You do 480 damage to the head if you get it all on his face. So you can definitely outdo his heal. And lastly is Winston, and he's just such a big target, and his damage is not going to be enough to kill you right away. So you can actually shoot him in the face in 2 reloads to kill him before his lightning can kill you. That's something to just keep in mind. Mode duties of Tracer. Now, on capture, hybrid, and payload on attack, you're going to get around the enemy front line choke, and you're going to attack the back line. You're going to get kills or just distract them, or you're going to capture the point to distract the enemy that way instead. When the enemy is defending the point directly, though, you want to try to get around to the healers and kill them, any other high-value targets, or just attack the enemies trickling to defend the point themselves. So they're just running back to the point between B and A. You're just attacking them on the way. Maybe you distract them enough that they don't even go to A, which allows your team to capture the point. Or maybe you get some kills and they just never get there. That's another thing you can do as well. That's just a helpful thing you can do. Payload is the same idea. While your team's pushing the payload, you are usually running ahead to distract the enemy or kill them as they're trickling in. That's just something you can do very well. And then there's using your bomb. You can use your bomb on healers or groups of enemies as you see fit. You can even use it on a tank, just shoot them in the bits as well while it's blowing up on them. Since it doesn't do enough damage to kill them together, you have to do it with your guns to finish them off. And of course, use dashes and recall to maintain overtime when needed, because Tracer can do that for a long time. Now on defense, you're going to be attacking the enemy's back line while they're attacking your team's choke. So you're going to be in the area between their spawn and point A, and then their spawn and point B when it comes to objectives, just killing whoever you can in the back. Usually going to be going for the healers, that'll be the best thing for you, and distracting whoever you can. Now if they do get on the point, you're doing dashes, you're doing recalls, you're doing whatever it takes to keep the point contested and alive while your teammates are trying to respawn and reinforce that position. Now on payload, you can directly contest the cart with just dashes and recalling, or you can go ahead and attack the enemy heroes as they're heading towards the cart. Once again, between their spawn and the cart, you're attacking whoever you can, so that when they're trickling in, they're just getting killed or getting distracted, so they can't really do anything for the main fight. That is something you can do very well. Now when it comes to your bomb, you're going to use that on, of course, healers or just groups, just whatever you feel it can work best on, just to keep things going. You can also put it on the card to disperse the enemy in desperate situations. That's another thing you can consider. Now on control, you're flanking the enemy team and trying to kill or distract them while your team kills the rest. Now that's at the start of things. Now when you take the point, if you got the point, you're just attacking the enemies as they're trying to get in there, making sure they just don't get the point by just killing them as they trickle in. Now, when you don't have the point, you're attacking them from a direction separate from your team to distract them, so that their attention is divided, so it gets easier for your team to get in there and take the point. And of course, you're great at contesting the point for overtime and keeping them from taking the full capture of the point. You're really good at that. And use your bomb wherever you see accordingly. That'll work out for. Tips and tricks with Tracer. Now, first thing to just keep you in mind is that high risk, high reward is Tracer. She's capable of doing a lot of damage, but she's easy to get killed. One person to really watch out for is Mei. One ice skill to the head will kill you. Mei does 75 to the body, 150 to the head, that kills you. Tracer can kill tanks in 2 to 3 clips. Just keep this in mind. If you get a full headshot, that's 480 damage. So 2 clips just to finish them off. 3 clips, you're just going for the body. She can do it. She can kill tanks. It's just very risky. Another is predict enemy attacks and dash accordingly. If you know where that hook's going to come from, just dash right before it happens. You just see something happening. If you know what's going to come hit you, just dash. That's the thing. Just being able to predict what can this enemy do to me, what are the sound cues to them, and what direction should I be dashing when they try to do it to me. That's something that just comes with practice. Something important to keep in mind is that you can dash to cross gaps. That's just going over some pit, you can do that. Sometimes you need all 3 of the dashes, maybe 2. Just remember, you can use dashes to do that. Something important with recall, of course, is having some vague idea where you were 3 seconds ago. Just knowing if the enemies are in that spot, just you shouldn't recall there, it might get you killed, unless you just have no choice. And another one to keep in mind is practice throwing the bomb a lot. Do a lot of practice. That bomb is not easy to land, but when you get good at landing it, you're going to do work with it. And lastly, just to remind you about bombs when it comes to tanks, it does 400 damage. Tanks will not get killed by this, except Zarya, who has exactly 400 HP. So keep that in mind. You put a bomb on a tank, you gotta shoot them to finish them off, unless they're already hurt in the first place. In conclusion, Tracer is great at distracting the enemy, killing high-value targets, and killing tanks. You just need a lot of practice at aiming while frantically running around, dashing at the right time, knowing where you were for recall, and landing that pulse bomb. Trust me, you really want to get good at that pulse bomb, because it can do work. As always, I feel it's important to share these guys. The more knowledge people have of the game, the better it is. You know how to play these heroes, you know how to play against these heroes, you know how to play with people who are playing these heroes. It's just really good. You'll have great opponents, great teammates, because who wants just run over? You want a good match, so it'll be a good way to learn things to be good at the game even better. So next guide is going to be Mercy, and that should be a lot of fun. And that right there is the guide. I had fun talking, I've been fun watching and learning from the guide, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? Having fun. Thanks for coming by, and see you next time.